Hey there, Father Michael here. Ever since I left home when I was 17, having graduated early from high school, uh, very motivated to make a life for myself that was safe, free from my family situation, and all of that, and to become self-sufficient. Um, I have always, as a result, been a high energy kind of person, whereas my teachers might have said I was happy go lucky and not all that motivated academically. Nonetheless, once that 11 and a half years of uh, schooling was done, I became a different person in a lot of ways. And I have worked multiple jobs probably for 95% of my life. Sometimes just so I could make ends meet, raising three sons. Sometimes just because I enjoyed doing the work and wanted to keep my hand in certain things like restaurant work. For example, I've worked as a sous chef for many years. Easy work, fulfilling for me, at least when it's part-time, it's easy. Not to mention my work in ministry that I've been doing really since I was like 7 or 8 years old. So now that I am allegedly semi-retired, I still work a couple jobs in addition to pastoring two congregations. So I'm not sure what the retirement piece there really is. But anyway, I have had some time since I stopped working full-time to reflect on my working life in general. Maybe it's an old person thing, but I'm realizing more and more that, man, I should have paid better attention, closer attention to stuff when it was happening, because I think I've missed a lot of life's blessings because I was too busy, or I was just too tired, to really enter into those potentially peaceful moments. Of course, raising kids is taxing. It is never what we think it's going to be. And regardless of how much fun I really did try to make it, it was still exhausting. It was hard work. It challenges, us in ways we can't anticipate. And I realized, looking back over those early years, particularly of raising the boys, I was always waiting for someday when it would be easier. If only I could get them out of diapers. That's a major financial victory, if nothing else. If only I can get them to school so they'll be less dependent on me as the social coordinator of their lives. If only they'd buckle down and clean their rooms, then I'd be happier in general. If only they would grow up quicker so that I could, live my life after 40. The plan was by the time I turned 40, they were all essentially going to be raised and out the door. So I was looking forward to kind of getting my life back. Well, those hopes for tomorrow, along with the frustrations of, the day-to-day grind of parenting and working multiple jobs and all of that conspired to deny me finding peaceful times. I do remember a few times, a handful of times, when I would, very silently creep into their rooms at night while they were sound asleep. And I would just watch them. And I would hear, their breathing, listen to them, give them a kiss on the cheek, inhale their sweetness. There's a sweet smell that young children have that other people don't have. Those are precious memories, to be sure, especially, in the light of having lost two of those boys. But they're also precious memories because there aren't that many of them. They're kind of few and far between. Most of my days over the last 6 decades have really been missing those peaceful moments because I was always moving on to the next thing, cleaning the house, doing the laundry, teaching the boys to cook, shopping for groceries, finding jobs, working those jobs, finishing my undergrad degree, working on my graduate degree, all of that business, right? All of that while still, of course, being a dad. It makes me exhausted, even to think about it. Like I look back and I think, what? How did I do this on caffeine alone? But it also makes me a little sad because I realize that, damn it, I have missed out on some important opportunities for simple joy and gratitude. Even now, it's still kind of a struggle. I struggle to clear my mind, especially at the end of a busy day like yesterday, when I didn't get home until after 9 p.m., which for old people, it's like 2 a.m. to a 20-year-old. So what do? I came home last night, kind of keyed up, kind of wound up. I'm not really a big television watcher, but I do find myself sometimes watching a random show. Right now it's Better Call Saul. Probably will take me a year to finish that series. Or I will end up scrolling through social media posts and, old people cat memes and crazy stuff like that. But I've learned that those things really are not relaxing. They don't really help me unwind. They don't provide the rest and the peace of mind that I'm looking for. They just while away an hour or two. In other words, trying to fill that inner space that senses the need for peace and connection and all of that, filling that space with distractions or just entertainment only tends to yield undesirable results like, sleeplessness or impatience or, some of those social media posts are disappointing and frustrating and anxiety inducing and all of that. And now I'm thinking about all the things I need to get done tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. Well, one of the takeaways from last night's Smart Recovery meeting was something that one of the members shared about his struggle with alcohol. He was advising another person there in the meeting who was trying to say that he didn't really need to deal with his traumatic past. He just needed to stop drinking and that was going to be enough. And this other guy was really quite eloquent and he explained the whole thing. He said it's not just about putting down the bottle. It's about retraining your mind to think differently. It really hit me because that is a lot like what Paul writes to the Romans in chapter 12, verse 2. Paul says, hey, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so you can discern God's will, those things that are good, acceptable, perfect. Those are the words that I'm holding on to this morning, Because today is going to be another crazy day. I already know. And I didn't sleep that well last night, so that doesn't make it any better. I need to find ways to continually renew my mind and to become more open to transformation through opening myself up to the presence of the living Christ within. I have the highest power in the universe within myself. I just need to remember that. For me, renewal comes in a variety of ways. But in every instance, whether I'm taking a day to, go into the silence like I did earlier this week, if I go on a formal retreat somewhere, I usually hang out with religious women. They're very welcoming and they're a lot nicer than the religious men, just saying. But sometimes I don't have time for that. It all depends on my intentionality going into it, my being grounded in the present moment of grace. There will not be time for television today. There will not be time for social media today. But I've got some drive time, probably a couple hours combined. So I'll have some quiet time. I'll have opportunity in conversation today with my clients who share their stories with me, who really do tend to listen rather attentively to what we're trying to do together in their recovery. I will have time to answer some emails, respond to some emails that people have sent me, people who've reached out to me. And in all of that, although I don't have hours or even a full hour to really be in a meditative mode, I can nonetheless center myself and simply trust today that God is my source. God is sufficient to sustain me, to transform me, even when I can't take some quality time like I might like to. Yes, there are a lot of distractions in this world available to me, to you, to everybody, but it is really only God who can renew our weary soul. Today, that's what I'm holding on to. Pray with me. Loving God, source of every blessing, thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for the many opportunities you give us to step up and help other people. Help us today to remember that because you are our source, we already have everything we need. We simply need to tap into that truth. Help us to breathe today, to take just a moment to say thank you to you, our Abba. You who are the one showering us with blessings, always wondering if we're ever going to really appreciate everything that you surround us with. For all of those people you send us to remind us of your abiding presence and love, we are grateful. Help us to be that reminder for others today. Amen. Have a great day.